Oh, hi. So in this tutorial, I'm going to be running through how I did this 2D replace for the TV. You can see the original footage here. I sort of have tracker points, and then I bring in the TV in post-production, or the content on the TV in post-production. So we're going to go through on how to do that. So let's start out with the original footage, TV over the shoulder. So we'll bring it in, drag it into its own new comp. So here we are. So we're just going to trim the clip here because we don't want to waste too much computer power. And the next thing we need to do is track the tracking points that I actually put in during filming. Having the tracking points in the shot when I was filming it is going to make my life a lot easier now. So we have our footage selected. We're going to go to tracker and track motion. And I want to do rotation as well because the camera might be moving a little bit. So we'll go to the very beginning of the clip, select rotation. It's going to give us two tracking points. So I'll put the second one here in the middle of the X and the first one up here in the middle of that X, and just track motion by clicking here. And we'll analyze it forward. Good. And then we'll go layer, new, create a null object. And then we're going to go edit target, select the null object, so it's null object number 5, so that's good. And then we'll hit apply, X and Y, good. And you can see we have all our points here with regards to the null with rotation and position. Great. Now what we need to do is bring in our footage for the news report. So this is this footage here, so we can just bring it in. Okay, so here we have our news report footage, and you can see it's on a green screen. So what we're going to have to do is deal with the green screen. So we can select the footage, go to Layer, Pre-Compose, and move it into its own composition. So move all attributes and open up the new comp. So then here we are. And then what we can do is apply the green screen effect to this. And in another tutorial, I do show on how to green screen, so you can reference that. So now we have our pre-composed layer within our project with the green screen already taken out. So we've used Primac Keyer for that. So now what I'm going to do is select the layer, hit T, drop the opacity down so I can see the background, so I can start to scale down the image so I can match it to the background. So we'll go scale, so hit S and then bring it down. And then we can sort of move it along here. Bring it down even more so. So you're going to have to play with the scale a little bit to get it to pretty close to what you need. That's actually looking not bad. Looks like it needs to be rotated a little bit to the right. So with the layer selected, we'll hit R and rotate it a little bit. And we'll bring the opacity back up. So select T and bring it back up. So that's already looking not bad. You can sort of fine tune it as you require. You might have to add a distortion to the layer just so it matches the edges around. But let's say that's okay for now. So what we need to do is select the layer and parent it to the null object, and we can deselect the null object. And now what's going to happen is as we move through, as we scrub through, it stays parented to the null, so it appears as if that's the actual content on the TV. So we've done a 2D replace there. So that's good. So now what we need to do is further sell this. When you're filming a TV, usually the saturation is a lot lower than everything else on the screen. So we're gonna have to drop the saturation just a little bit. So we'll select the layer, go Effect, Color Correction, Color Balance, Hue and Saturation. So select that one and drop the saturation significantly. And it's also a little bit too sharp. So what we'll do is add a fast blur to it. So layer selected, go Effect, Blur, fast blur, and just add a slight blur to it to further blend it into the shot. Another thing we can do is add a light wrap. Because the TV is emitting light, some of the light will actually bounce to the edges of the TV. So the way to do that is select the layer, go Effect, duplicate the layer, and just the layer below it, all we're going to have to do is increase the blur significantly. And maybe we can take out the saturation completely on that one, or the drop of saturation. And you could even add a glow. So you could go Effect, Stylize, Glow, and punch that up a little bit. So that's looking quite good. You can see the light wrap around the TV, so it's sort of bouncing onto the TV from the screen, and we're gonna have to drop the transparency on that layer. So we'll select the layer, hit T, and then just bring it down a little bit so it's a little bit more subtle. And that's how I did the 2D replace for the actual TV content. And 2D replace is the same technique that I used to replace the license plate on this car. I just redid it in Photoshop, so it said Frisbee 1, motion tracked it, added to a null layer, and then just parented it and feathered around the edges for the mask. And that's how I got this sort of footage looking pretty seamless on the actual license plate as well. So hopefully that helped out with 2D replacing. Thanks guys, bye.